Okay, welcome everybody. It's time to grab your gear, see if you can run along as we run into life. World-class runner Caren Ware. And today, some other runners, I guess, with her here. Who'd you bring with you, Caren?
I have coaches here today because I just want you to listen to people's backstory, their life, and how running has affected them and how coaches have brought them into who they are today. And this is exciting. I'm super excited. And I'm going to introduce you to Jess Lopez, and then I'm going to introduce you to Barrett Brauer. And both of them have youth programs that they're running with youth, but they both have incredible life stories. And we're going to start with Jess. I want you to hang on every word this man has to say.
Do we have to take notes or anything?
No.
Is there going to be an exam at the end? The coach is going to give us an exam here?
This is amazing. He's got a backstory that I think that you guys need to hear out there if you're struggling with what you think is going to curb your life. And he was born with a speech impediment and stutters. And this is a huge thing for him today to come before you guys and talk out his story. So we're going to give you Jess's backstory a little bit, and then I'll give you Barrett's backstory so that you could hear from these gentlemen what running has been in their lives, and then we're going to move on and talk about youth programs and adult programs and all kinds of fun things.
All right. Well, let's start with Jesse. Give us your backstory. Tell us your life story. A big, rough, tough guy like you?
Yeah.
Decathlete, you guys. Can you?
Were you a decathlete and everything? Yeah, right.
Yeah, decathlete. Well, I mean, I'll tell you how I originally I was supposed to be a just jumper, which I don't think I've told you that.
Ah.
I went into college as a jumper, and then
a pole vaulter, right, or something, or jumping.
No,
high
jump.
High jumper.
What's a high jumper?
Yourself over the.
That's right.
There's no pole involved here.
No pole. That's
no pole involved.
It's all speed, muscle, and power.
So yeah, no, I was supposed to be a high jumper, and then my coach Maka, who you know.
Who is a coach that coaches from a wheelchair, you guys, from Mount South.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Basically, he said for the collegiate level, for a high jumper, I wasn't good enough. So he said, hey, you want to try the decathlon? And then, I mean, I didn't know that it was 10 events. And, well, anyway, I trained for it and figured out that I was a better decathlete.
And look at the body they grew into this.
High jumper. But
is that what Bruce Jenner was famous?
That is what Bruce Jenner.
The decathlon.
Yes,
and what are the 10 events? What do you do? You run?
So you do you do every event except for you don't run past a 1,500 meters. So you don't run past a mile.
Okay.
Anything under that, 100-meter hurdles, all the way to shot put and discus.
Even the pole vault.
And pole vault.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's a story about the pole vault, which I'll maybe get into it later. But
now you bring it up. You got to bring it up now. You can say later. We'll forget.
I mean, I had an accident on the pole vault.
Ooh.
On my forehead here. I got 23 stitches outside, and
oh my God.
Internally I got 6 stitches, all from pole vaulting. And
I think that's when I'd quit pole vaulting.
As you can tell, that was probably my worst event. But yeah, that's.
So forgive me, but were you raised in a Hispanic neighborhood?
I was, yes, I was. Oh, that's funny. I was always a soccer player.
Yeah, right.
Soccer, always, since I was a kid, and after my freshman year of high school, I don't know what got into me. I decided let me do football.
Yeah.
And the first week of practice, I tore my ACL, MCL, and I was out for a year, and I couldn't really play soccer because too much side to
you can't move side to side
movement. Yeah. And then I decided to do track my junior year, and again I ended up being pretty good at it, and I left soccer.
So forgive me for saying this, but were there lots of kids to look up to in your high school? This is a Hispanic high school I'm taking.
Yes.
Where was this at?
Monte High School.
Monte High School.
El Monte High School. Yeah.
So were there I guess I'm saying is everybody's looking at you like, what the heck is he doing? Come on, we're playing soccer.
Oh
we
yeah,
don't do all this stuff.
I mean,
What's wrong with you?
track and field at Monty isn't. I mean, it's fun, but it's usually football, baseball, and soccer.
Right.
But no, I mean, it wasn't that.
What'd your parents say when you're doing this? Like,
Well, I mean, I mostly got a lot of stuff from my dad. 'Cause my dad was.
oh my God, my son's a decathlete.
My
I can't
dad
even
played
say it.
semi-pro soccer in Mexico, and
Oh wow.
I mean, it worked out fine. It got me through college, and I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way.
It's amazing, and plus he met his current wife. She's beautiful. She's
Oh, my wife, yeah.
She's a high jumper.
She's a high jumper.
Wow.
Yeah.
There is
So
some, I just got to interrupt. There's some girl that's known in Newport. She's like a high jumper, a pole vaulter.
Allison Stokey?
That's it.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Very
Someone
famous
knows.
and been articles about her.
Okay, since you so open with that, tell us
Yeah.
a little bit of your backstory, Barrett. And-
Well, maybe I'm not quite as accomplished as Jesse.
No.
But, I've been I'm middle-aged now. I won't tell you my exact age, but, I'm a
I'm
lifelong...
late-aged, so we're good. We're good.
Gen X. I'm a lifelong endurance athlete, and it really started, when you're an adolescent, it's kind of a weird time for a lot of people because you're really trying to find your identity and who you are. You're going through a lot of changes. You're going through a lot of insecurity, and I found.
You're describing my life, but go ahead.
Well, everybody's life, really, because we all go through that. So you're looking for those things that give you a little bit of self-esteem, and you're insecure. You're trying to find your purpose in
Where
life.
do you fit? Right.
Yeah,
As
very
Caren
good.
likes to say, find your fit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So about that age, middle school, 6th grade, I discovered by accident, kind of, that I liked long distance running. I was actually not too bad at it. There's one story. I was thinking 6th grade, and so in 6th grade, Mr. Sawzak's class, he was a very strict teacher, and I was probably acting up or talking too much or just being a little bit of miscreant.
No, come on.
And so you
Which
would
comes with a lot of
you would get like
runners.
these little check marks on your
Rebellious.
name on the chalkboard. Back then, they used actual chalk on the chalkboard. So I do something wrong, get my name down, and you do something else, you get a check mark. And I had to make up all these check marks for all this misbehavior I did in this class. And one of the ways to do it, I had to run laps in the field.
Usually it's
so-
a punishment.
Yes,
Yeah,
he used it
yeah.
as a punishment. So I don't know what it was. I accumulated this ridiculous amount of demerits, and so I think he said, well, you got to go and run 40 laps. And I figured it'd probably take me like a week to do it. So, during recess or something, I think it was like an hour, I ran 40 laps, and I come back, I'm done. Is that it? Got anything else for me?
Can I do it again?
So that's the same, and there's a chapter in my book called it took a jogathon, and that's how that was the first thing that inspired me, was that whole concept of we get to go run laps and earn money for the school. And they said the winner would go to the person who ran the most laps. So I thought it meant the whole school day. So they were out there running laps, and the bell rang, and they all went in. I go, I don't know why they're going in. I'm going to run the most laps. And when they came out for lunch, I became the runner chick, because the whole school was like, she's still running.
She's still running.
And we figured I ran a full marathon by the time school bell rang. At the end of the day, I couldn't walk the next day, but I had a reputation. So yay
Yeah.
for your experience.
So what was supposed to be a punishment turned out to be a good thing.
Yes,
That's what
it
started
turned
it
out
all.
to be an epiphany, a life-changing event, perhaps. So anyway, and I in junior high just started doing 10Ks and things with my brother, and I got into it, liked it. Went on and ran cross country in high school, and I got really into the whole process of running and getting into the training. And I remember getting those Runner's World magazines when I was in high school in
Oh,
the
my
80s.
goodness,
And I go through the Runner's World and go to the back and see like the training plans, the recommended training plans, and okay, a long endurance run, and these speed work and all this. I really kind of I like the process of training, and so it kind of imprinted itself on me. And so after high school, I went to college, and I wasn't really part of a running program, and I missed it.
Where'd you go to college? Where was all this at?
I went to college actually in Malibu, of all places.
That's not even college when you go to college. in
Yeah.
Malibu. It's
So-
like you go to class a couple hours and then you play around here. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it did give me the opportunity because I didn't live in Malibu, but I lived through the canyon in Calabasas.
Sure.
And so Calabasas, it's an old horse ranch
Yeah.
kind of community. Then there's trails that go everywhere.
Right.
And this is back in the early 90s. And a lot of that stuff is now open as parkland. But back there was kind of closed off and really, I had to climb a fence to, to get out back there. But anyway, I missed running. I didn't get to run anymore. But I also concurrently liked cycling too. And I did when I was in high school as well. So I scraped up some money and got like my first legitimate mountain bike. It was probably like $600 or something, which, in 1991, that was big money. That was expensive. So I was really proud. I got my mountain bike. It's a real mountain bike. And so I would just ride everywhere in Calabasas and, climb over the barbed wire fence and ride. And sometimes ranger people would kind of chase me off, but it was fun. It was
You're starting a sport. It's a sport
it
now.
was an
Yeah.
adventure. I remember there's this one climb right outside my house, and I make a left turn and go to basically the sort of the valley or the opening in the hills, and I would get there halfway done. I'd peter out and have to push my bike the rest of the way, and I'd kind of do it. A couple days later, I'd get a little bit further. Each day, I would get a little bit further, and finally, I got to the top. And that was just a great feeling to kind of have that mixture of pain and pushing yourself, and also that sense of accomplishment. And you kind of pushing you to do a little bit more. And that whole process of those small little achievements became addicting. So I get to the top, and then you get to basically the top of the small little climb, and you go left, you go more climb. And so I'd get to the top, and then I'd make a left and continue climbing. And that was a good little illustration of the whole process of the sport and why it's attractive
This
to me
is
anyway.
exciting. This is exciting. I want to keep going in this big mass conversation here today, and I'm going to jump back over to Jess because I want to give him an opportunity because he just told you incrementally how to climb mountains, how to set a goal, and just make it in little wins, inches. And I've heard that from this man Jess in his dealing with his stuttering and speech impediment, because it's a huge deal that he's here today talking to you, and he's learned and gotten better at it. He will never be able to eradicate that, but he can make little and big steps. So let's tell us about what it was like being a youth, a sports athletic youth, but having stuttering, and what you've done to kind of go up his kind of a mountain little bit by little bit every day, get better and better.
So this is interesting because when I was younger, I was actually a lot worse. I couldn't say a single sentence. And when I would start speaking, I would have to hit my head just because I was super frustrated. And then slowly I just started to, I think I got a little bit better. But anyways,
That's the way I am with running, by the way.
with running, yeah.
So I really do appreciate you coming in here because I think it's a great example. This is a medium to tell stories, and you're sharing a story here. And while you may have had one hurdle that you run, you guys have overcome such other hurdles that I'm just in amazement. I mean, the things that you guys do.
And that's the
Thank
point
you.
out there. Everyone out there listening.
Everyone's got a hurdle.
So a lot of us, have them. So keep
And-
telling us about
and
yours.
so I didn't really have a lot of friends because I didn't want to talk. I was always like, I'm working on a secret. I'm trying to write a book. I have a title. I have a title that I have. I've had it for a little while. I'm adding stuff to it. It's called the kid on the ice chest.
The kid.
So
on
I
the
just-
ice
I-
chest. You were the one sitting on the ice.
I'm the
chest.
one that sits on the ice chest in front of parties or at parties, and I just visualize it because every adult is around the ice chest,
Yeah.
and I would sit there and I would just listen. I didn't want to talk to anybody, but let me be part of the conversation and just listen. But anyways, I really, how do I say without getting emotional? It's hard.
I'm getting emotional just listening. I appreciate you sharing this. This is good stuff.
Okay. I'm
okay.
not gonna talk about this, but anyways, to me, I needed to be good at something because if I wasn't in,
and I'm gonna.
We have
help-
all the time in the
No,
world, by the way,
but
so
I'm gonna
don't push this
no,
or
I'm gonna
whatever.
help
What
him
is-
with this because
Yeah.
he shared the story too
doing
about
great.
his coach in the wheelchair saw all the potential in this young man and looked past all the speaking and just trained him into who he knew that Jess was. You know, because speaking doesn't define him, his drive and his heart to get out there. So keep going.
okay, I'm just trying to find the words to say, but to me, failing wasn't an option.
Yeah.
Yay.
If I failed, I wasn't gonna make friends. I was gonna be looked at. I mean, so I thought I was gonna be looked at. It's just a guy who stutters and doesn't have anything going for himself. When I was younger, I had to force myself. I forced myself to be good at sports. I tried every sport, and if I wasn't good at it, I stayed, and I kept practicing. And I think at one point I did baseball, and I hated baseball.
But
And
you weren't going to quit.
I didn't. I didn't. But I was out there hitting a ball and just trying to be good. And then I moved over to golf. I don't golf, but again, I tried everything. I think, and just I wanted to be good at everything because
to prove it.
to
Well,
show
that's
that.
why being a decathlete was such a vision that his coach saw in him, because he could just train and train and train, and
And-
it has so many elements to it. It goes to the person that has the fortitude and the vision and the determination to train.
So I'm going to move it forward a little bit here. How'd you all meet Caren?
Yeah, I'll
Well, let's Barrett.
start with you.
Well, I actually have that fluorescent pink van you guys all know about if you see it out there, and I've
Hard to
actually
miss
had,
her, yeah.
Yeah, I've had notes left on my windshield from this man because he's running around with all his kids in all these places that I run around. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're out here on the trail.
Yeah.
And then they run in our races, so I'll let him answer that.
Yeah, if you've never been to one of Karen's events, there's not just we do this 5K, it has a name. There's a theme around these events, and it's really fun. So, in fact, yes, the
We got
4th
one
of
coming
July
up.
one.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a
Give a little
plug
shameless
then.
plug here.
That 4th of July run last year was so great because the thing that I'll always remember about that, and I've told the story before, is that they actually had a fife and drum group, ensemble.
And they're from the mountains,
Yeah, they're
and
from-
actually half of them are cross country runners and run on his
Uh-huh.
track.
Yeah,
team.
and they told the story about Yankee Doodle, the song Yankee Doodle, which everyone assumes is this ultra-American patriotic song. But the story they told is that actually Yankee Doodle was the British making fun of the Patriots as these sort
I didn't know.
of backwards people. They think they're cultured, but they put a feather in the cap and call it macaroni. Macaroni, I guess, was basically the word bougie back then. So it was this song that the British came up to make fun of and mock these backwards hillbilly patriots, and the Patriots said, "You know what? We're going to adopt it. It's going to be
We're going to
our
turn
song.
that into a good thing.
I
We're
didn't
going to
know.
embrace that.
So that could be our song now."
That's like us as Americans. We put a coffee cup on a table, and the Europeans are like, "Where's the saucer?"
So I love that story. But anyway, I've been to Caren Ware's events. In fact, I think I was maybe told about these events from my co-coach, Jake Brindle, who I think you know.
Okay.
And so we go there. I loved it. I saw her big, huge, gaudy van with all the pink everywhere at the top
She
of.
tries to not use the word gaudy, but
Visible,
it is a little
visible.
gaudy.
It's very, very distinctive.
Statement. Yeah.
So I saw at the top of
stands
El
out.
Moro, and I was just happened to go on a ride, or I think it was a ride, or maybe a run. It was a ride, mountain bike ride, and I just wanted to leave a note. It's like, you know what, this is who I am, and I'm Barrett. I just want to say that I love your events. You did a great job, and that sort of was the introduction. And so I introduced her later on at the other event where you swim in the water as part of the 5K run.
Yeah, which is
Splash
coming up
pad.
on the last Sunday of August at Irvine
Wild Rivers.
Wild Rivers. Yeah, and I just thought I'd give you something cool to do in the hot summer.
All right, so Jess, how did
Okay.
you meet her here? Because you're doing some serious decathlons. Not that Barrett's not doing serious things. You're all doing serious things, but you're really doing some serious things. I wouldn't.
Well,
think
I'm going to
you'd be at a-
interject and say I don't know if you guys know that I actually coached track. I raised my kids in Lake Arrowhead, and those 5 inner city Mexican boys and the girl, they would meet me at the bottom of the hill on the metro and run the hills and stuff. And coaching track at Rim of the World is same as Mexico City. It's about 5,500 feet.
Wow.
And so I went back to run on the track, knowing it's a closed campus, so you have to only run when the track is out there.
And I was coaching. Where was I? I was at
You're
a shot
throwing
with
the
him.
shot put, and I go, oh,
I was teaching them how to throw. I was teaching the kids how to throw shot put, and then she comes walking over here, and I'm like, "Who's this lady?"
on a closed campus.
Get off the track, lady.
I only thought that you only were some kids grandma. I'm sorry.
You were supposed to say
Yeah.
mom, not grandma,
Yeah,
but that's
hopefully
okay.
an active grandma.
And I hear this. She comes and talking about how she was in a track and all this, and I was like, oh, okay. And
She
we just
tells
started
us stories everywhere she goes.
I think
you bump into Caren.
we
and
were
in 5
just
minutes
talking
you've heard her
for
story. Yeah.
well, an hour and a half after
'cause
that,
we started
and I was late
crossing
to my training session, which I never told you, but it's okay. It's okay. But just very interesting, and it was.
So
it was
he
cool.
was at Mount Sac at the same time that a girl that I coached.
Janice. Janice
I
Camacho.
yeah, and I know their family very well. And there's a story behind Janice Camacho.
Oh, we
and
can't go down
that'll
all the
be-
stories
So
here, right.
it's going to be another podcast about
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But we were able to share, some of her life.
So
stuff.
what do you
Yeah.
guys think? So you've both turned this into a full-time career? You're both coaches full-time, or
Yes.
do you do
yeah,
other
tell
things?
us about what you guys are doing with your youth.
I'm a full-time personal trainer, and I coach kids high school, and I've been doing that for a long time, and I've turned this into my career.
Can I forgive me if I'm getting too personal here?
No.
But you've come forward. Obviously, you still have a problem stuttering. You still stutter.
Oh yeah.
Is that a barrier to teaching kids?
kids love him.
You know what? In the beginning it was, and then I started noticing that kids don't care about how you
I
talk.
really don't. Yeah.
Kids care about if you show up.
Mm.
Kids care how much effort you put into coaching them,
And
how much you
and
care
how much
about
you
them.
care, I was going to say.
That's
yeah.
all they care about. That's all they really care about.
So he took a athlete this year that actually made it all the way to CIF.
He made it to CIF
yeah.
final, and
he's only a
he did
junior.
pretty good, yeah.
Pretty amazing to.
And Barrett, is this a full-time gig for you, or do you do other things?
I do other things. So I've worked with cyclists for a while as a coach, and also I do some fancy. It's called bike fitting. So if someone has a
Bike fitting. You get the
yes.
right bike, I guess, right?
yeah, so if someone has a high-end bike and they plan to do a lot of riding, that's hours and thousands of revolutions, pedal revolutions, and so people they wear down. If that they get aches and pains, they get knee pain. They're not as biomechanically efficient as they should. So I have this suite of fancy motion capture tools that I
my
use, and
goodness.
you put these little sensors on their joints, and you actually do some sample scans, and you see the little stick figure up on the screen,
it
and that kind of
moves,
gives you
yeah.
digital readout of what their joint angles are, and so you can kind of fine tune in very granular detail
So
what
is
the
that,
fit is.
in a nutshell, maybe I'm really trying to summarize this because we are getting close. Is this what coaches do for runners? You fine-tune the biomechanics, you make... Because everybody thinks they can just go out and run, and then why is this kid faster?
Yeah, not to that extent. So I work with my partner Jake. He does a lot of the sort of visual assessment of runners, and that's kind of what we're trying to do with, it's called Stride Youth Running. Trying to do with these middle school runners is get them on a good, solid foundation, both in terms of their approach to running, having them understand how to train, and we really want them to enjoy the process and to begin to identify as runners, not just, hey, I run a couple times a week. So with Jake, some things we do like barefoot running, for example. So
Barefoot running.
barefoot
okay.
running on grass. So it's a way to actually reconnect with what the foot is actually supposed to do when it interacts with the surface.
I'm coming to
because,
your
you know,
training.
Wow.
Yeah, so your
Yeah.
your shoes with
do
these the modern shoes, like the big thick soled things,
Mm-hmm.
and they mute and insulate you, and they're essential for running on pavement. But our foot and our bodies are designed in a certain way, And so it's good to get back to those foundations.
What's the tribe or the Native American or Native group in Mexico?
It's in Mexico, I forget, but
Run
yes.
through the mountains from mountain to mountain
It's
to mountain.
the Tauromadas, right?
Yeah, yeah, thank
Yes.
you.
The ones in the mountains who
And
run.
then there's a group
yeah, it's crazy.
in Africa too that they always seem to be among the world class runners because
Because they have to run barefooted. and-
they run
so-
barefoot
yeah.
through the mountains.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
All right, so that
Yeah.
makes sense. All right, wow,
Okay.
pretty heavy stuff here.
Yeah, so let's let Jess tell you what he does with the Rim of the World High School. If you know Lake Arrowhead, Running Springs, Crestline area, he's up there. And their track is at, I think, 5,500 feet or something like that.
55,
Yeah.
around there.
Yeah, so if you want to go and check out your oxygen tank.
Yeah, it
Trying
really
to do
tests
track
See how
it up
fast
there.
you can run out of
Yeah.
oxygen.
Yeah, so.
Track and field, it's all about form and a technique. You like just can't show up and jump and then try to herd.
So what's so neat
hurdle.
about Jess is he can demonstrate at his, he can out jump them, he can out hurdle them.
I mean, again, that's
Yeah.
part of my
Yeah.
stuttering why I do that. But yeah, no, it's all about form. Like you have to have good form to just jump a bar, to run.
And nobody
fast,
teaches you to do that. You as a kid, you just start running, and some kids naturally take to it and run farther and faster, and other kids like me huff and puff and say, "I can't do this." And I always wondered why, because I'm not a short guy, I'm not a fat guy or whatever, but I could never run. I didn't have much endurance. I still don't, and I couldn't run very fast or very far.
But aren't you guys, both gentlemen, aren't you finding that you can take any body and any kid and train
That's what
them
I'm getting to,
into
yeah.
something better? And the hard part about sports and stuff is that, like, elementary school and junior high, they don't pre-train them, and then they step on track and they don't have that background where if you're a gymnast, sometimes you can start little gym classes when you're younger.
Right.
So that's what I
Correct,
so
yeah.
appreciate what I see them
So
doing.
everybody's telling the story. I'm going to tell one quick
Yeah.
story. So this proves your point. I, in junior high, wasn't very good at anything else. Football. I should have been good at basketball because I'm tall, but I wasn't because nobody ever showed me how to do any of this stuff. So somebody said, try track. So I go out to our track team, and we had the worst track team in the world. There was like 10 kids on the whole team. We're supposed to run 100 events. We're all wearing each other out. You got to run this. You got to. I just ran that. Well, we got nobody else. We're going to lose. And that was our coach's favorite thing. Somebody's got to do it, or we're going to lose. And I finally said, Coach, we're going to lose anyway.
4x4.
So they took me and put me in high hurdle because I was the tallest kid.
Oof.
And they said, jump. And I said, how do you do it? And they said, I don't jump over it. So I would run, I'd stop, and I'd jump over it. And then I'd run, I'd stop, I'd jump over it. So the first track meet I went to, you can imagine how badly I did. The other kids have completed an hour ago, and I'm still running, jumping. And I was so embarrassed and so horrified. And I was so angry that nobody would show me. The idea was just go out and do it. Why don't we show these kids?
And
how
the
to-
same thing, I also heard you say that you had to run laps because it's a punishment.
It's a punishment,
If
yeah,
for
right.
a lot of us out there, we have X'd out in our lives activity and sports enhancements because of poor experiences in,
Exactly.
We're
in school.
using-
We're using it as a.
So what do you
As a
think?
punishment.
What do you think, Barrett? You were punished, and it boomeranged. It turned you into
It worked,
like
it worked out for him.
It did, and it's interesting you say that because in terms of the particular niche that I'm trying to go for in terms of my club, I mean, there's clubs out there that have youth running, and they're very, very, I call them type A clubs. They're very disciplined, and 6 days a week, run, after work, or you fail. I enjoy working with people who don't feel that they're great runners and don't see themselves as runners. And I don't care whether you're a beginner or you're naturally gifted. It's more a matter of if you can improve and internalize that goal setting and see yourself as a runner and get enjoyment of that process. Because my ultimate goal is for them to grow up into adults and still love the sport and
Yeah.
not get burnt out on it. So if they take running into adulthood or endurance sports into adulthood like I did, I would consider that a success. So
Conversely, in my high school, I won't name him, but I can vividly remember a nice guy who on our track club in junior high and thereafter, he was naturally gifted. He would win races. He would do things. And he stopped in high school. And I asked him, we weren't particularly close, but I asked him once, why? You were like the one we all looked up to. Oh, my God, I wish I could be like Tom here. And he said, I hated it. Nobody ever showed me. Everybody just pushed me. You're good. Go do it. And he said, what? I was never asked. I was just pushed. And I thought, yikes. So two experiences. I was terrible at it and felt embarrassed. He was good at it and was horrified by it, or burned out of it. What do you
These
want
are
to call it?
great conversations. I'm so grateful to have these two gentlemen and our host in the background and myself here. And I hope you're all listening that there is a healthy process, and mainly the biggest healthy process is put one foot in front of the other, and like Jess said, set yourself up and try to go get good at something. And the good part about it is go get good at it because you like it. And
then get good help. Because even the great Michael Jordan said, I would never have been who I was but for my coaches.
Yeah.
You may have a gift, you may have a desire, but then take that and perfect it, improve it. So what kind of program do you, quickly, we'll start with...
give a plug. Tell them.
We'll start with Jesse again. What do you do and where do you do it?
What's the name of your fitness? I come one day a week and do strength training when I'm on the mountain. And he's got a great gym and a good thing going. So tell him about that.
I have my own brand that I came up with. It's called Confident Training.
Yeah, but it has the
confidence
word fit.
through training. That's what I got.
So spell it again for me.
CONFITENT training.
Confident training.
Basically, I came up with that because a lot of people right now, what's going on in the fitness industry right now, and I'm sorry if I'm talking about it, but
it's okay.
A lot of people are focusing on weight loss, and are trying to do cardio,
and just
and they're not really building muscle. And right now,
just burning fat.
I mean, they're losing the weight, but right now, a lot of people are not wanting to get strong,
and they're not healthy.
And they're not. Yeah. So what I've come across when I came up with this 2016 is muscle and strength.
Yeah.
Just it makes you super. It just makes you feel good. Kind of, and
does it open you to success? Can you do things others can't because
you can? I mean, it's just you can do. I mean, the benefits of building muscle and just have a living muscle. It's a lot.
And you do this up in the high mountains here?
Twin Peaks.
I do that in the mountains. Yeah. I've been training at a gym there for. This is going to be 2 years at that gym, and everybody that I have in that gym, I wasn't expecting it. It's usually all women. It's about 75% women and 25% men, and they're all over the age of 35.
Wow.
That means they're consistently coming. It's also a boxing gym, which is really fun to watch.
So I got to ask one more question. We're gonna give Barrett a whole. We're gonna end with him. He's gonna explain in detail all that he does. But I got to ask one more thing. We're gonna whatever time it takes. This is great stories here. So we had Mikey Garcia in here, who is, I guess, a very famous Hispanic boxer. He's won the whatever welterweight or something.
Okay.
He trains in the mountains, and he says because you want to learn how to build up stamina in your breath, go do it in the mountains.
Yeah.
Don't train. He said all the great boxers go up in the mountains to train. Don't train at sea level, because when you push yourself in the mountains, you build up more endurance or more. You tell me.
I agree with that.
Cardio.
Bear's a UFC fighter. Tone Ferguson. Every camp he trains in Big Bear.
Yeah.
And
many of them do.
I mean his on the cardio is
Amazing.
It's insane. It's
Yeah,
crazy. It's
yeah.
crazy how much. He
All right,
can-
Barrett, we want to go into detail. You dropped some wild stuff here. I'm teaching anybody to run, not just the most successful in pushing the farther. I'm teaching them things about biomechanics. I'm teaching them to run barefoot. Tie all this together for me here. What's your program? Where do you do it? And tell us more about it.
Well, it's Stride Youth Running. That's STRY.
Everybody's going to spell these things different.
Yeah,
But
it's,
it's a one-off.
It's
Caren with a
Caren
C.
Yeah.
You have to be a little unique, I suppose.
yeah.
Otherwise, it's just another word.
Yeah.
So it's Stride Youth Running. We operate primarily out of Tustin Ranch in Irvine, and
Okay.
we a little bit into Orange too. So in that little area over there, we run at a few parks. Let's start there.
And
So
who's it aimed at?
it is mostly, but not exclusively, middle school age runners. So 12, 13, 14. We have a couple high schoolers, and we have maybe a fifth and sixth graders. But it clusters around the middle school area or age cohort. And so
And are these kids who want to get better at running? And this is like joining an AYSO soccer program or something here. This is how they do that. Or is it just an activity to get stronger, get better, get more confident? I don't know, all the sorts of things that youth sports does for kids.
it's a little bit of both because, again, I think some kids, their parents kind of push them into it because they're looking for things to do. There's some parents who, hey, this is one of the things we do in addition to soccer, violin playing,
Right.
piano. And so honestly, they tend not to be as engaged or last as much. And I understand that too. I don't really want it to be a sole obsession or commitment. I want running to be a part of somebody's life.
Right.
Because as an adult, running endurance sports can't be your entire life either. It has to be a part of your life. So we
Although
focus.
Caren would disagree with you on that.
She's made it her entire life. But also to Jess's point too is we primarily focus on running, but there's lots of strength and core work too, because we want to lay a foundation, an athletic foundation. So if they go on to high school and run cross country or do whatever, that's fine. If they want to do soccer, well, they have basically the resilience and the built up body for that. I don't like the idea of making them exclusively runners and specializing. I want them to be overall good athletes with an endurance foundation so they can go into something
And
else.
does it keep you from getting hurt? Because that's the other problem with youth sports. They push these kids in baseball or other sorts of things, and then all of a sudden they literally break their little bodies here.
Yeah, so the predominance of the research that I've seen is at that age you don't really want to specialize. Now there's a difference
Yeah.
between that and a skill-based sport where you kind of have to specialize because there's lots of fine-tuned muscle coordination, other things. But in terms of running and other things, if you specialize too much at that age, yes, they start to break down, they get injured.
That's what I saw. My daughter was focused on basketball. I'm big, whatever. We got to do basketball. And some coaches said you should do multi-sports because you're working on different muscle groups. Some said, no time to do that. You want to make varsity, you got to do basketball year-round. And I saw more of those kids get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's an even story that a couple of my alumni have gone into running at high school level, and that high school program is very, very successful, but I've heard that half of the runners are anemic. So they're pushing themselves pretty hard. I don't want to do that when they're in middle school. I want them to understand the foundations, get them into good overall, well-structured athletes, get them to enjoy it, actually,
That's a
so they
key.
continue it. That's really the goal.
And the other thing that I've seen at middle school is, and I was amazed, I went and covered one of Karen's events recently. We interviewed various people there for OC Talk Radio. And one of them was a little kid who came in like the head of everybody. I want to say he's my grandson's age. He was 10 or 11 or something like that. Yeah. And so I walked up with my microphone next to it and be like a little kid. Yeah, geez, gosh, it was fun. I said, what do you think of it? Well, I'm very pleased with my progress today. I stuck to my plan.
Man, my training is going well.
And I'm like, oh my God, this kid's got a focus. Yeah. Somebody has focused this kid in a way most 10-year-olds aren't focused. That's another benefit of this. Not learning just how to do it and how to do it better, but to enjoy it in passion and then to really develop that kind of regiment that kind
Your
of plan.
poise.
Poise.
Yeah, this kid had an amazing
Amazing.
poise.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, that's
Yay,
awesome.
how fun is this, you gentlemen?
All right, so
Thank
give us
you.
some websites. Stride.
Okay.
Stride Running Club. How do we find you?
So Stride Youth Running, all one word. Stride with a Y, youthrunning.com. And we have a website. You can reach out to me.
And these are like programs that people sign up for. Is it a season? Do you go year round?
It's year round. It's just you go month to month. So parents will sign up and their kids just join us, and we have we change focus as the year goes by. It's more of a periodized approach to training. So it's
What kind?
so the idea of periodization. So you
throw
have
these words out like we all know what that means.
Yeah, I'm so glad that
Oh,
you said that because I even thought, wait.
Periodization? Okay.
Yeah, so
What
at
does that
different times of the year, you maybe have a foundation phase, you have an off season, you have a build phase, you have a peak phase. So you really plan out the year and alter the emphasis somewhat based on what you want to do, thinking long term, thinking big picture. So it's all about the idea of progressive overload of the stress adaptation model, where you add a little bit, you recover, you add a little bit more, you recover, your body adapts, it gets stronger, and you build that into an overarching or overall plan that is based on, I think his name was Tudor Bompa, the idea of periodization.
It sounds more like martial arts. I feel like I'm watching The Karate Kid. Brush on, brush off. You know, there's a deeper meaning and a long-term spiritual purpose to everything we're doing here. We're not just running. All right, and how do we find? So that's how we find. It's what's again?
StrideYouthRunning.com.
And that's here in like Tustin Ranch or that
Tustin
kind of
Ranch,
Yeah,
Tustin,
Orange County.
Irvine.
Yeah.
Okay. And how do we find your gym?
I don't have a website. I
Oh,
do everything
come on.
through social media. My Instagram is fit10 underscore Jassy.
All right, let's spell that slowly
Confident
for everybody.
underscore Jesse, CONFITENT underscore
With the word fit in the
JESSE.
middle. So just remember that.
Fit.
I do everything on my social media, videos, coaching videos, and all that
Okay.
stuff. So,
And
yeah,
you're part of who Caren Ware runs into. Is she runs around the world here and you run into the most amazing people at her events and through her this world that she has pulled together here, all like the logo says in the back there, running straight into life's challenges here.
Awesome. I actually had a parent run into me at your gym as I was getting out, and she lived across the street, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, I just got to find out who you are because I dropped my daughter off at practice, and there's an adult out there running around the track." And my daughter goes, "Oh my gosh, that lady's running." I came to pick her up hours later, and my daughter goes, "Mom, that lady's still running." Now she's doing this, and she did that, and she did hurdles, and I'm practicing and running for the U.S. Masters track team, and I get to do that with Jess because he knows all the elements in the events that. So I've been able to pull out hurdles and things up there and in the track and work on them. So yeah, so let's keep on running, everybody.
Yeah.
If nothing else, in circles, running ragged,
I've been
running
doing
away
that
from
my whole
problems,
life. Running in
towards
circles.
them. Yeah, here we go.
All right, and how do they reach Caren Ware if they want to come to the 4th of July
Let me
event?
plug my own.
Yeah.
We've got those 2 great races that he brought up this summer that I'm just working my heart out to offer you. You have no excuse. You have to come visit and experience and not just a
You
party.
really do. It's
And-
not at all what you expect. It
and
isn't
it's
just the
honestly-
serious runners. There are those people there getting time, pushing themselves, following their plan, improving. But there are people, little old ladies just want to come for the bling and the party.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And we have, honestly, I really believe that, and we've been voted as the best shirts. They're really soft. They're,
They're soft.
soft.
They're
You can-
soft.
you
That's
can-
the key thing.
You can wear them in bed or you can run in them.
All right,
and
so
we have,
where do they go
metal
find
stuff.
these, and what are the 2
Caren
events?
with the C, Caren. My last name is Ware, Ware. So it kind of rhymes. Care Ware. If you just
Caren
kinda,
Ware events?
Yeah, CarenWareEvents.com.
And you do roughly 1 or 2 of these a month somewhere here in
Yes,
Southern
yes.
California. And the
And we-
next one, we're for those listening later, we're taping this, we're streaming this live today in the middle of June, which means 4th of July is just around the corner. Is it still too late to sign up for that?
No, you can sign up. You can actually show up race morning.
Really? Okay.
And bring your family, friends, and everyone
You
with
pay your fee, you get your entry, you get your bling, you get your medals, you get all those T-shirts and all stuff, and you get to be part of this party. And what
Yeah.
kind of party are we going to see at 4th of July?
And then actually you also, and he told you we have live fife and drums, and half of them are on the cross
What
country
that
team.
has to do with
and then
running,
they
I
take,
have no
they take all
idea.
their outfits out, and then they,
Go
you know,
run.
because it's a part of our history. They, you know, fife are the little
Yeah.
flutes and the, you know, drums and stuff. And we just do, we knock the socks off of you guys that we've never had anyone pull up that early in the morning and come out and say, gosh, I wish I never got up and came. Well, you know, we just got a lot going on. But
Where is it at Bolsa Chica?
Actually, 4th of July is going to be at Irvine Valley College because we want, there's no school that day, and we get the opportunity to take over the campus.
There you go.
And you run around the campus, and there's a little farmhouse there, and you know, I don't know, what do you call it, but they're growing fresh fruit and all that stuff, and there's all kinds of stuff that's happening. But I just want to, you know, put a plug too, that my events, the uniqueness of them is I'm not out there to charge you for doing it. I'm offering an experience, but the proceeds go to my YouTube channel, same name, Caren, Caren, last name Ware, and just watch what the proceeds benefit. Maybe the last 3 episodes, I do one a month, and it'll give you an idea that we're
You give
reaching. Yeah, we're reaching out to needs in the world and things that we run into.
So it's a way
Okay.
to not only support your passion, it's your job, it keeps you running, it gives you a living, but you take some of those proceeds and donate them back to worthy causes or people you run into along the way.
Yeah, and so.
So it's part of
use
a
it-
passion, a mission.
Yeah.
All right, so the first one is 4th of July at Irvine Valley College. And
Splash Dash, which we also have a little side thing we call the dry run. If that's intimidating to you to go splashing
this is
through all
nuts.
the
You go to
Yeah.
Wild Rivers and you don't
Yes.
just run around the park, you run through the
through
water.
the park, yeah. And you actually run around the park, and then you get to go through the park, and then you go through their lazy river. And the cool part about the river, it's not intimidating. It's only 2.5 feet deep, but it's like a treadmill when you up the treadmill. If you race through it, you can feel the resistance, and then if
Yeah.
you need to back off, so some people float it, play. You know, we have to beg them to get out of the water. Okay, come back. The finish line's over here. And other people trying to race through it.
The only thing is you won't get a PR on that
Yes.
race. You'll be way through a river.
So those of you that need a PR, just run the dry
What's a
run.
the right
PR?
one.
What's a PR?
Personal record.
Personal
Oh,
record.
personal
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I signed up. I'm gonna sign up for your Green Valley
Oh
Lake
yeah,
run.
and I'm glad he's plugging that because we do mountain runs because
Yeah.
we want you to come up and experience. Green Valley Lake is a little best kept secret, but it's an
Yeah.
awesome.
I
little
don't even know where
community.
Green Valley Lake
Yeah,
is.
it's between Big Bear and Running Springs,
Oh.
about 4 miles off on a side road that dead ends into a little private lake, and it's got a coffee shop.
Yeah,
and,
it's
and,
very-
and,
And when is that event?
that is the Saturday, August 2nd.
So we got 3
Yeah.
events coming up. No excuse. 4th of July at Irvine Valley College. And that's in the next one. Splash Dash is when?
Is the last Sunday of August, the 24th. Just go to Caren Ware events, hit the calendar section, let it
You
pull
see
down, and yeah, there you go.
All right, wild stuff here. My general perception is that runners are solo. They're pushing themselves. They're up in the morning when nobody else is around. You have shown me it's a community.
It is.
It's a community of people who gather, who get together, who run into each other, who support each other, and who encourage each other to go further and to help each other in cases like these guys do. Wild stories. Thank you. Taking me into a world I've never seen before here. Thanks so much. All right, we've got Jesse, we've got Barrett, and we've got Caren. 3 examples of what's running around your neighborhood right now as we run into life here on Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio, streaming live from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center.